There's been huge news on AI on multiple fronts. There's increase in your ability to have productive AI, be able to do complex skills, be able to create things like an elaborate PowerPoint or stock analysis. And then this has also been an advance of AI with science, where we'll go beyond papers to just research papers and have them become living, dynamic, interactive AIs that can explain themselves to you and work with researchers to speed up scientific development. And there's been developments with xAI being able to improve the productivity and usefulness of X for nearly 1 billion users for this multi-billion dollar company. So these things are all advancing very, very quickly. So I'm going to go over the first parts. There's a scientific research paper called Paper to Agent, which converts research papers into AI agents. So the AI reads the paper and then converts all of the supplemental information with data files, with code, with methodology, and then makes it into a live interactive agent that can answer questions about the paper, makes all the data live, makes them into working programs that again can be queried and interacted with. And there's the potential to have each paper with an AI agent talk to other papers and also creating, larger simulations, say around all of the, I say physics, all the ones on physics, all the ones on chemistry, all the ones on certain subsections could be used on that. So there's, a lot to this one, but then one that is,
So that's your whole setup on that one?
yeah,
Okay, so let me ask you some questions.
sure.
Because if I'm confused, maybe somebody else is too. All right, so this will, as you say, turn it into an agent.
Yeah.
So if I am outside, I'm somebody looking for information about the subject.
Yeah.
Right now, if I look for the information about the subject, I go to Google, I go to the paper. If I have access to the paper, which I don't always,
Yeah.
but if I have access to the paper, then I can start reading it. I can do a find feature or whatever if I want to see if I can find what I'm looking for
Yeah.
within the paper. But it's a pretty complex tour.
Mhm.
You're saying now that it's because we be an agent and knows the paper backwards, forwards, and inside out,
Yeah.
as a user coming in,
Yeah.
I could ask more complex questions and it would be able to just give me answers like Grok does now, but with specifically about that paper. Is that what?
Right. Also, things like you could have static charts and things showing you, here's what, this DNA, RNA proteins around some cell are doing, right? And then this can bring that to life and show you can interact with the table or chart to pull out more information, to have it explained to you, to say, another researcher might say, well, what if we had other assumptions about it? How could we reinterpret this analysis? How good is this data? What if we changed and I load this other data into it? What would happen to it,
All
right?
right. And
So
then,
you,
okay.
yeah,
Okay. And then alternatively, if I'm the person who wrote the paper or I'm the one who is involved in the paper
mhm,
and I want to keep up to date because everything's changing so fast in every single field,
yeah,
then I can give my agent directions or instructions with regard to looking for anything out there every single day
yeah,
that might be applicable to the paper,
right,
and then letting me know that here's a new paper that's got this, or
right,
here's some information that's coming in because, or somebody's making queries about the paper
yeah.
in public. So all those kinds of things would also be done by the agent on a regular basis.
That's right. That's right. And then, so this segues into being able to do more complicated skills with AI instead of just doing a chat, question answer kind of interaction, or to up level what you're doing. So Anthropic Claude AI has introduced skills with, directions about how to do certain tasks in more detail, kind of a best practice approach. And you can make more of these skills, and they have a bunch of samples and examples that people are sharing and improving upon. They only load a block of code or instruction when it's relevant to the particular question that you have. And becomes like deeper instructions and best practice guidance around something that you're doing. So, so they have them on GitHub where they share code, and so there is. Oops, let's see here. Sorry, let me go back. Okay, so here we have MCP builder. So the MCP builders are frameworks for agents. So here's an example of the skill file. So it gives about if I'm going to develop an AI agent server development guide, it'll say here's an overview, here's the process, the workflow that you want to go through to do it. And so it gives multi-pages of instructions about how to do it, and refers also to other best practice files. So things that would have taken someone hours or days to do now is shareable so that you can get to a best practice thing of how to do it. And if you didn't have the skills or the knowledge to do it, you can now learn them, and it's in readable file format. And you can take these files not just for and use them in Claude. Since they're just text files, I can then load them into ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, whichever system I want to do. And they have many, many folders here, and there's other individuals who have other folders like this. And this is something that will take everyone's productivity up, get better, more consistent results, and it will be something that will be constantly improving and shared upon. And if you have multiple skills together, then you can have a job, right? And then these kind of skills and instructions could be also applied to that, scientific paper type work too.
Sure.
So it's taking everything and adding more workflows, more complexity to achieve higher level results for what we're doing.
All right. So I'm, been doing this for, I don't know how I guess it's almost 55 years, working with computers and whatnot, but I'm overwhelmed by all the AI stuff that's come out now. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm old.
Yeah.
Because I've always been overwhelmed by it until I learn it.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people feel the same way.
Mhm.
So, for instance, I'd like to be able to use the graphics stuff a lot better than I can. I go in there, I try to get a great picture or a great illustration for something I'm working on.
Mhm.
And whoever I'm using, it gets it wrong. I give it another prompt. It's still got it wrong. It's like, then I give it a third prompt to edit it in a certain way, and it gets
Yeah.
that part right and changes something else. So I'm guessing that we're going to be starting to get like lots and lots of these libraries of appropriate prompts
Yeah.
that are the most likely to give us the result that we're looking for. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that's fair. And then you can also see that you could have some kind of trusted agent that say represents, AI influencer ABC,
Mm-hmm.
who could put like, one person's currently selling a package of 25 complex prompts related to vibe coding,
Right.
to Excel use, et cetera, like that, selling it for like $18 per block or $500 for 25 instead of 25. So if you trusted that person,
Mm-hmm.
taking the two together of making a scientific AI agent
Right.
and then having this prompt thing, you could have someone who's your AI prompting guru,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for videos, for other production tasks,
Right.
and then have that AI agent guide you for that. And then that individual will be updating his agent, and then you could see something where it passes through and the agent representing the person, and then you would have some subscription to the actual individual to say, hey, I got a certain thing, got stuck, we need to up level or do something. So then there'd be this more complex interaction around that. So it would be, again, agentifying and then making it so that people could give consulting and guidance and up-leveling everyone.
Right. Okay. I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then there's other ones like for stock finance where it's like, identify risk about the company, doing some other, reviewing the last few calls, earnings calls, doing other stuff. So you can have more and more of these templates for how to practice. It can also specify more about how you want the results to be done. So then there have been other announcements about X and XAI. So you wanted to go over that.
yeah. So, okay. So the two probably the questions I hear the most about X
Mhm.
are the things that I see the most complaints about on X are I'm a newbie. And listen, I have, what do I have now? 15,000 followers, something like that. So I'm not exactly a newbie.
Mhm.
I've kind of been at it for a while. But I put out some amazing content every day that doesn't get hardly any viewership.
Mhm.
But what about a newbie that's got no followers or 10 or 20? They might put out the proof that there are no black holes and
Mhm.
it's right, and only 12
Mhm.
people would see it.
Right.
So this has been a big complaint. And the other big complaint has been the opposite kind of, which is, okay, I'm in here and the main reason I'm on X is I want to hear football. I want to hear all the top players. I want to hear what they're doing. I want to make some decisions about how I'm going to play my bets this weekend. And all I'm getting is pictures of little kids playing with their dogs, And so somewhere along the line, because I swiped or didn't swipe or whatever I did, the algorithm thinks I want to see pictures of kids with dogs. So here's the two things that they're saying they're going to do. This is from Elon today. He says the X recommendation system is evolving very rapidly. We're aiming for deletion of all heuristics within 4 to 6 weeks. Grok will literally read every single post, watch every single video. That's 100 million per day, and then match users with content they're most likely to find interesting. So that addresses the first part of it. So now my post, if it's valuable, if it's useful, if it uses keywords, probably have to be a little more careful about keyword use in posting now. Then Grok is going to be able to direct it more exactly to the people that are looking for that kind of content. The opposite of that is we will be adding the ability for you to adjust your feed temporarily or permanently just by asking Grok. And so that way you just say, hey, Grok, really, I don't want to see anything else except football stuff. And then Grok will, be able to follow your direction on that. Or these are the kinds of things I'm interested in, but I don't want to see any more anything else about little kids with dogs.
Okay. So it looks like it'll be far more productive and
Huge.
perhaps dynamically reactive to everything that's coming into the system.
100%. Seems to me like this is the biggest announcement yet.
Right. And for AI and for revenue and that kind of thing, that you have OpenAI leading with 800 million users and probably like 80% of the AI activity. And then you have Anthropic probably next with about 15%. And then at this 5% level or so, you have XAI and Google. So having it be far more productive for X with close to a billion people can be something where it could take off and get deeper penetration and to potentially win the AI game and increase their revenues from like 3 billion up to 5 or 10, which gets to the range of where OpenAI is. I think OpenAI made about $8 billion in the first half of the year, so it might get to $15 billion for the full year, and then Anthropic at like 5 billion. So getting more competitive for the three companies.
Right, right. And along those lines, if people are not using Grok as a methodology for finding out more about a post, are finding out whether it's real or not, you know, whether it's true. I must do it now 10 times a day where I want to validate something. Maybe I'm using it for content. I need to validate it before I can put it up. Maybe I'm questioning some part of it. Maybe one stat's wrong and I need to find out whether the stat is off. Or maybe it's just strictly a case of that's a great prompt for me going deeper on a subject. And it's just like, you know, all you do is tap the little grok symbol and all that world becomes available to you. It's just incredible.
Right. And then Elon has also said that he's going to, that X content creators are underpaid, and that
Right.
he's going to try and adjust that to get them more competitive with YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. I told my wife I'm making 300 a month, and I told my wife that my goal is to make 1,000. I didn't know Elon was going to be the one that made it happen.
Mhm. Right. So anything else in terms of AI or
Oh,
XAI?
yeah. Well, there was one more. You probably saw it too, which was Google saying that they had a cancer study
Mhm.
where they were able where their system, their DeepSeek system, whatever, not DeepSeek, DeepMind
Mind, yeah.
was able to actually do innovative work,
Mhm.
and the innovative work that it did proved to be useful.
Mhm.
So this would be very definitely a breakthrough.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so various ways that AI is accelerating the science discovery, which was one of the big hopes that all the AI leaders, you know, Sam Altman,
Right.
Elon,
Right.
Demis Hassabis, their big goal is major scientific discoveries, major improvements in human health from AI.
Right.
Right.
100%. Yep.
Okay. So I think people need to stay up to date with this. We have a book coming out about super intelligence. You can tell them about that.
Yeah, sure. It's called AI Rising, How to Thrive in the Age of Abundance. So there's a lot in there. We believe that we're coming into an age of abundance, but there's going to be challenges like we've seen, I don't know, 25 times in the last 140 years. We've seen some kinds of professions go away and new professions start up. And there's all kinds of issues with regard to the stack, whether everything from mining and refining all the way through applications. So there's all kinds of problems. Well, we cover all of that in the book, and it should be out for pre-orders maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, and then out for a real sometime. I'm hoping before the end of the month, and then maybe the Audible version won't be out quite at the same time. Might be another week or so.
That sounds great. So it was Randy and I were the main authors, but we also had a lot of help from a lot of other people in the Tesla and XAI community. CERN Basher, Bradford Ferguson, Phil Black. So we have a forward by Robert Scoble. I think Dr. Know-It-All, also
Larry Goldberg.
Larry Goldberg. Yeah. So
You know, we probably left out somebody. That'll be bad.
yeah,
Oh, the kid.
yeah.
We left out the kid, Nicholas Gibbs.
Things good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of good material there, and obviously a lot to keep updated upon. So we're gonna keep you updated on AI and also obviously for on Tesla and all the other important topics that are affecting you. So like and subscribe and then comment below, and we'll talk to you next time.